I'm pretty
Now
sure
we are
they're all supposed to
recording.
be.
We are supposed to be recording. Thank you so much for reminding me because that would have
Yeah.
been bad.
Hey, that was a great 3 points. We totally get it. You don't even have to go back and redo
Okay.
it. We
Okay.
learned so much from that. It was great.
I will start over. He'll see my slideshow. That's good enough. Agile unified process. So this is a 7-step process. Start a model. So you're creating a solution for the problem at hand. Implementation. You take the model and create code to solve that problem. Then you test. Deployment, which is sorry, allergies, so my not congested. Deployment. You plan for the delivery of the software. Configuration management. I don't know what project artifacts really are, but you track and manage the project artifacts. Direct the activities and make sure the team has all the resources they need. So, I mean, I like these ones that have a 7-step process. You just kind of step you through it. Business analyst designer method. This method, I actually was reading some guy's article who was saying that he was a business analyst designer, which I had no idea that was actually a job. But this methodology is, I keep saying like methodology is centered on the concept of features, and he had this cool little diagram on here. It's all about the features and defining what you want to do and what the problems are, and it's really highly focused on the objective of that particular business. Crystal clear methods. This is for a smaller team, so actually like our size of team, and it focuses on people and efficiency and not necessarily the process of it, and it really promotes teamwork and communication. It's nice for like those small groups and then working together. So the next one is disciplined agile delivery, or DAD. It's also people focused. And the guy had I should have cited my sources. I was really bad, but didn't have a ton of time. But he said people and the way they interact with each other are the primary determinant of success for a solution delivered project. So it's just it's like really about people, learning oriented. So this is another one that I think it works well for what we're doing because it's team members teaching each other. Kind of a hybrid of a bunch of different other methods. And it focuses on the entire project start to finish. Some of these other ones focus just on one section at a time, and they really just get focused on like, okay, finish this step, then this step, then this step, and this one kind of goes through the whole cycle. And the project process goal driven, meaning it's based off of what the client has stated is most important. The client prioritizes everything for you. You don't decide what's most important; they do, and then you do the project based off of that. And so the first things to get done is what they said should be done first. It's important that we provide real value, and every time that you do an iteration, you need to have the point where it potentially could go out to the customer. Not saying that it will, but you need to be the point that it could if you needed to. And then it's also enterprise aware, meaning you're aware of how much time and money you're spending on the project and how much it's costing your client. And you guys can stop me at any time if it doesn't make sense or you have questions, or if you actually know what these are and have experience with them, then you can explain more, because like I said, I'm not 100% clear. So the DSDM method is based on 9 key principles. They revolve around business, needs and values, and you guys can read along: active user involvement, empowered teams, frequent delivery, integrity, testing, and stakeholder collaboration. And it's based off of the Moscow rules. So there's the must-have requirements, the should-have, the could-have, but the not critical, and won't have this time, but potentially later. So that's how they prioritize everything. It's what they have to have, what they could have, what they don't really need. XP, or extreme programming, promotes high customer involvement. This is like extreme in the fact that they literally want you to have working software within a few weeks. Like you just push. So you have a working version of it every few weeks, and then they just test that. If it looks good, then they do it again and move on. But they just, crazy fast. They must have huge teams to work on this type of thing. It's based on 4 simple values: simplicity, communication, feedback, and courage. And then there's the 12 supporting practices. So feature-driven development, it's model-driven, and this is, again, we have a bunch of series of 2-week cycles, where you're working on it for 2 weeks, pushing out features, and then go through everything, and then push it out again, push it out again. So you're really just working these 2 weeks bursts. And it's focused around these 8 practices. Domain objective modeling, developing by feature, component class ownership, feature teams inspections, configuration management, regular builds, and visibility of progress and results. Lean software development. So this is all about, saving money, saving time, and doing everything you can to eliminate any waste. And so this decide as late as possible, meaning when I was reading the article, he's talking about the fact that they say that because they don't want you making decisions where you don't have all the information. So they're saying any decision that you have to make that you don't have everything, then you wait to make it to the very last possible minute that you just have to decide to make sure that you have everything you need to make that decision. So decide as late as possible, but still deliver as fast as possible. So you're working as fast as you can. You don't put anything into it that's unnecessary. No extra money, no extra time. It's just lean. The Kanban development. This is an emphasis on continued delivery. So you're continually working on the process, continual workflow. There's not really like breaking it up into little sections. You just keep going until you've gone through the process. Scrum. This is where the priorities are given by the product owner or whoever is developing the software. And some of the other ones had 2 or 3 week sprints. This one is 1 month sprints. And I'm not completely clear on what the product backlog was. When I was looking into it, they kept talking about product backlog. And the best explanation I could find, it's the features and requirements that need to be implemented during that sprint, but I'm not sure why they're calling it the backlog. And then Scrumban, which is a hybrid of Scrum and Kanban. And they're talking a lot about these planning buckets for scope, which again, I'm not super clear on what those are supposed to be. Some of them I found on Wikipedia, but I actually found this really cool site. Let me see if I can find the. I'm gonna get up and see if I can get the link. Here, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Can I chat it in here? A link, or would I have to do it out in the other one? Here, I'll just put it.
No, you can. In the top left, there's a blue chat box. Yeah.
Right here. So I found this guide. He didn't list all of them that I found, but he kind of went over a lot of them, and he seemed to put it more in simplified terms of the different methodologies, and explain some of the popular ones. So for anyone else who wants to do some more research on the topic, this guy, I thought his site did the best job of explaining it in terms that I can understand. Some of the methodologies aren't really applicable to someone of our size. Some of them were meant for teams of 300 to 400 people, huge corporate teams. Some of the other ones, like I was saying, would be great for our size of team. Maybe they're meant for 6 to 8 people. They're really about teamwork and collaborating and sharing your knowledge and those type of things. So those could work well for our team size. But any questions? Not that I know if I'm able to answer them, but you can sure off.
Nothing.
No? Yeah. Is there one that stood out to you that would be good for our team?
Well, I think it was the dad one.
Okay.
Yeah, because this one is because especially with how we're working on our project, because it's people focused. We're focusing on the user. We're focusing on each other, and we learn from each other, and I like this. It's process goal driven, so it's what's most important to the client, to the user. So I just thought this was a really good one for us as our team and what we're working on for this particular project. Because it just uses a lot of features from the other ones. We focus on the entire project and not on little clips. But I don't know. We might want to break it up into little snippets. I'm not sure, but I just thought it was nice because it was like I said, we're teaching each other, learning from each other, and really focusing on the user and the client.
Cool. Thanks. Awesome presentation.
Thank you. So I don't know who wants to go next.
I'll go next.
And are you going to share your PowerPoint in the drive?
Yes, so I'll put it in the drive, and then do you want? I also for our 2 presentations we're supposed to present to him. So I just created some visuals I can put in there too, and then like the same presentation I had before was all written up in Word, and then he said we could just email them to him. So Adam, you had the other one, didn't you?
I have one.
No, sorry. For the
next week.
You what?
I'm pretty sure mine was next week.
Yeah, no, I'm not for teaching. I'm sorry for the presentation for our mobile application.
For the
yeah.
For the My Adventure, you had stuff to email to him.
Oh, that.
I will in a little bit. It's been a crazy day. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'll upload mine, and then after you upload yours, then we can just email it to him, and then he can give us feedback.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, and then so Kevin, you're gonna go next.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so if I do that, do you guys see the presentation, or do you just see PowerPoint?
I see you right now.
Oh, well, that's not what I was going for. Hang on. Let me just do my desktop. Yeah, why not?
If you want to only share the presentation, you can start it and then share it on the thing. And then you'll
I can alt-tab out of a presentation?
Yeah.
Right. I guess I didn't know. But can you see my whole desktop now?
Yes.
Okay. And so now can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right, hang on. Let me grab my notes. All right, creative and pleasant mobile user interface creation. Going over mobile user interface. So what is a mobile UI? So think of like you're going to the grocery store, and as a shopper, you don't want to think about ways to find what you're looking for and having a frustrating experience. You just want to go, find what you came for, not wait long, and have a pleasant interaction and be right on your way. It's the same thing with the user interface. They are coming to retrieve data or input data, interact with that data somehow, and they don't want it to be a frustrating experience. They want it to be smooth. They want to know where they're supposed to go to get what they came for. So that's why it's important. You know, and there's a ton of apps, and you know, we're not making a application that you find in the App Store or the Play Store, but we're still making a web application. This is still something that people would use. You know, we're learning how to create a web application that people would use. They just access it through their internet browser rather than downloading it to their device. So, how to make it effectively and creatively. First, you have to think about your target audience. So take into account the preferences and the interests of those people that are coming to use the site. You have to get a persona. You have to understand, you know, what it is that they're looking for so that you can design it for them. You know, like Katie was just talking about in the last presentation about having it focus around the people. You know, so it's not only the people that are on the team, but the people that are going to be using it. Clear navigation is super important because they're coming to our site for a reason, so we have to help them find what they want with very minimal effort. Visual hierarchy. We should make important things have more weight than others, keeping it simple and effective, kind of a less is more. Instance, but it's a standard, especially since it's mobile, so everything is on a smaller screen. So you really have to make sure that you're putting the most important things right in front of them, because you can't just overload them like you could on a bigger screen. Consider conventions. So design and the internet. Let's see. So example, like you do not underline things that are not links or have call to action buttons without links. Physical actions or gestures are important to consider. Swiping, scrolling, vibration feedback, which I suppose we couldn't do in a web app, but it was one of the things that came to my mind. Typography and color screens, those are super important for readability, overall ease of use, making it easy on their eyes, knowing where they should focus. Scannability is important. Users want to have or even unconsciously scan the page to find what they're looking for, often without reading everything. So we should just consider how we use the elements such as images, headers, subheaders, buttons, navigation, and content blocks. We should keep all the content related, so grouping it together, minimal layers, minimal content, and if there's going to be any ads on there, I don't know if we're going to, but make sure that they're related. And the last thing, not my references, the last thing is that it can't be slow. It just can't. People will leave if the site is slow. If it's not responding, they'll be frustrated. They will leave, and they won't come back. So that's what I got.
Awesome, thank you.
Great. You hit all the most important points of Mobile Design. I mean, it doesn't need just look nice. I mean, that's obviously that, but like people, they don't understand what they're looking at. They just understand like, hey, I like this, and we know why. I mean, it needs to have the hierarchy, the flow, make sense to them. It needs to be easy to use, quick to use. If it's frustrating at all, they're gone. People have no patience. I mean, they get less patient as years go on, and apps keep coming out. I mean, there's so much competition. If yours is frustrating even the slightest, they're done.
Yeah.
Oh, really good points.
Thanks.
I'm next, I guess?
Yep.
Cool. I'm just going to share my whole screen because I'm going to be switching back and forth a lot. Okay.
Hey, it's me.
Alright, so I figure I'll start with this. Okay, so this is my little JSON example page, and I decided to kind of create like a little JSON app where it shows, like, you can see like all of our teams, like our schedule and where we're scheduled. And I didn't loop through it because that would have taken too long to make, but I can switch it up in my thingamajig to show different people and what they do just by switching.
Did you come up with this on your own, or is this just adapting from a code you found somewhere else?
I did a lot of research with W3 Schools on this.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably say adapting from them because I tried to give it my own little twist and all that, but yeah,
Right.
It's generally adapted from them.
I mean, which is fine. I'm just trying to get an idea of
Yeah.
Experience here.
Oh, this is brand new for me.
Okay.
So, okay, and like JavaScript's brand new for me too, so I had a little bit more of a difficult time because JSON is, and that gets into my presentation. JSON is it stands for JavaScript Object Notation. I forgot the word for it, but it's pretty much a little part of JavaScript. It's language independent, which means that you can pretty much you can use it with any language. It allows you to do that. Like any language will adapt it, which I think is really cool about JavaScript. So the syntax rules, and I can show it to you too. But data has to be in a name-value pair. Data is separated by commas, curly braces hold objects, and brackets hold arrays, which I had to keep repeating to myself as I did this. But this is the syntax for it. So, oh, I have an Amber Alert. Okay, anyway.
Uh-oh.
All right, so.
What's the license plate number?
All right, so okay, so this is an example of one where you kind of have like the subject, which is the key, and then this is the value. So they have a colon between them, and they're surrounded by curly brackets because they're an object. but they're in a bracket because the whole thing makes an array. And I'll go through my code in more in depth in a second. Okay, so the values allowed for JSON are numbers, which are integers and floating points, string, but they have to be in double quotes, Boolean, which are true or false, of course, array, which has to be in square brackets, object in curly brackets, null. And I know I've said that, but I really like this list, so I figured I'd keep it. This is honestly copied and pasted from W3 Schools because it's awesome. Okay. So eval is kind of a little function that probably might make sense to you, but it's kind of just a side note. The main thing I'm using is, what's it called? Is parse, but it's a newer JSON.parse, which takes the JSON text and makes it a JavaScript object. However, with old browsers, it doesn't work because it's a newer one. So they created eval. So eval works to do the same thing. But it represents a security threat because it not only grabs JSON text, but it will grab any JavaScript text too. So you kind of run the risk of people hacking your site with the eval, and it's really not recommended.
So what are you supposed to use, do you know?
It's the JSON.parse. It's the newer one.
How old a browser is supported by JSON.parse?
I'm not sure. I'll grab it for you, though. There's a list on W3 Schools. I'll grab it and add it to my little presentation before I share it.
Okay.
And it'll be on this page. Okay. So the common uses are to read data from the web server and to display it on the web page. There's a couple ways to do it, and I only went over one because I really didn't have time for the other two. So the one I'll show you is where I pretty much took a string and turned it into an object to display. That's the one I did this time. You can also actually grab, you have to use XML to do it, but you can grab text files and convert it into JavaScript and then display straight from a text file. So that one, honestly, I think will be really useful in the future because you can pretty much take any text file and convert it as long as it is written in JSON. But it's really helpful because you don't have to put it straight in your code. You can just pull it. You can also do it from the server, which, as I believe it's talking about the database. I really didn't have time to read into it, but yeah, it's kind of like you grabbing it from the database and pulling it, which will also be very helpful, but both of which were a little bit more complicated. So I think today is good to stick with string. All right, so stepping through my code, and I'm actually just going to do it here. So the first thing I needed to do with this code was give it a placement for the Java to show up on the screen. So I used an ID to identify this paragraph, so it shows schedule, and forever, like, I'll be able to grab this paragraph from this ID. Okay, so going into the script, I created this JSON, which is, it's JSON text. It's not JSON code exactly because it is written in text form with the quotes and the little quotes. Like if it were just and I haven't quite figured out where to use a regular JSON without the JSON text, but if it were, it wouldn't be in with the pluses and the quotes. It would just be like that. You just take out the, other than the quotes for the strings, of course. So you kind of have, like I was saying, so var schedule, which is the variable, is set to lesson schedule, and that's the value for this whole array. And then within the array you have the value and not the value, I'm sorry, key for the whole array. And then within the array you have key value pairs. So yeah, so there's an array within an array pretty much. Okay, so the var object is set to JSON.parse, and that's the schedule. So this is the one I was talking about, where we're parsing this the JavaScript object, JSON, and turning it into a JavaScript object, rather. Sorry. We're parsing the JSON and turning it into a JavaScript object so that the JavaScript can read it from here on out, rather than, yeah. All right. And then we're going into document.getElementById, and this is just pretty much JavaScript, and showSchedule.innerHTML. So the inner HTML of this will be set, of the paragraph of showSchedule will be set to object.lesson, and then it goes into the array. So lesson schedules the array, and I chose this time to be the second one, so this is the one that's going to show up. And it grabs the student, which is this one, and then it grabs the subject and it outputs it. And you can change this to any of these. If you go anywhere past the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 11 or something, it'll just do an unknown because that's not part of it. So yeah, this is where it outputs into it. And like I said, you can just change the number, and you can be a different student, or you can just change part of it, and it won't be like, you know, what I'm trying to get out there, but it'll still be Tyler JavaScript objects. So yeah, and that all has to be put within the script, of course, in order for that to work.
So I see down at the bottom you can actually just loop through it. So you could have a button there that says, you know, show me the next one, show me the next one, and link that button to the loop code there so that it increments your array one at a time to show who's up next.
I honestly have not figured out how to connect a button to it. I actually spent a lot of time on that today. I'm not sure about being able to even enter information into it or use a button to activate the script, because I spent a lot of time on that today. Honestly, couldn't figure it out. It might have to be a different thing to do that. It might have to be XML or something. But this loop, honestly, was more of a, like, it wasn't really interactive so much as I was trying to output the entire loop. So you can create a loop that will output the whole thing. It just won't be interactive from the front end.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I think that's it. Does anyone have any questions? Sorry, I kind of went through that quick.
Yeah, I have a question. So going back to your code to the browser, how did you get it to just switch to my name? Are you changing something in the URL?
I changed it in my code.
Oh, in the
So
code. Okay,
right
I missed
here.
that part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right here is where I just.
Yeah, you just choose it. Okay.
Any other questions?
Well, I think you did really good, especially for only one night, and not even like not knowing what it was. You did awesome.
Thank you. Okay. Any other questions? I actually have a comment outside of this before we get off.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay. So he mentioned the fact that we're supposed to each teach 4. I don't think the schedule we set for it allows us each to teach 4. I think we're going to have to reschedule.
We were short a week, so I added a week, and then I put like an extra topic in there. Like, so for the very last week, and like you looked at my document last week, the very last week, I put 4 topics, so I put like the 4 that I thought were like the harder topics that should probably cover an extra time.
Okay.
And I put 4 in there, and so like, I don't know, because we do have a big group, I don't know if we'll all have 4 times, but like right now, I signed up 5 times? Wait, no. 1, 2, 3. So right now, like, I signed up 4 times, so I'm trying to think how many topics we have. We have 18, 22 topics and 7 people, so that's, like, we get 3, and what, I guess I'll take, I have 4, so.
That'll be close enough.
Like 3 a person.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
So yeah, like, and then we're set for topics for next week, right? Okay, so yeah, we have people for next week and for the week after, so people seem to sign up for kind of going forward. So we're just gonna try for Wednesday at 8:30, see how it works, right? And then we all need to post everything we presented tonight on the community drive so people can take it and put it on their portfolio.
Can we make it Wednesday at 8 instead of 8:30? Does that work?
I won't, because my son has baseball practice from 7 to 8. So like this, I mean, I might be able to make 8:15, but I don't know that I'll be back that quick.
Okay.
And you can just be a few minutes late, and someone else can initiate the meeting.
Because it looks like where our meetings go about an hour, and sometimes I have work at night at 9 that I have to leave for. So.
Oh.
Yeah, so that when my husband's in town, he can pick them up, but he works out of town a lot, so most of the time I have to pick him up.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll just see. Well, next Wednesday probably stay till about 8:50. So as soon as we can start, the better.
Yes. I like to say if we can try to like maybe split the difference into 8:15, and I just end up being late, and someone else calls it or starts the meeting, then that's fine, and I'll just be a little bit late.
Okay.
Do we want to store the code that we create in these examples in the GitHub?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, what domain? Where are we putting this application on? As far as hosting, I know that Sabir didn't he say that he had hosting already?
Yeah, hosting for Hostinger. So then I don't know if he already has a domain name like purchased, or if we like. I think we probably have to sign on our app and then figure out what name we want, or I don't know if it even matters what name we put on there.
Yeah, can we just put it on a subdomain of anything?
Yeah, like there's no reason to pay for a domain name if we're not actually going to use it.
Yeah.
Like if he can use subdomain.
I already have one if we need to use it. That's no problem. I have one I've been using for a couple months now, so.
Is it
Okay.
appropriate?
Yes, it's appropriate, I promise. It's all about Trump.
Love it. Yeah, I mean, like we shouldn't try to. We shouldn't spend any extra money. Like whatever we have, we can use. Just do it.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess we'll just kind of see how like research topics go and what he kind of says on which web application to go for, and then I guess how comfortable we feel we can decide moving forward. So, because I honestly didn't look like super close to everyone's like background, what kind of experience does everyone have? We have like some really good programmers in our group, or are we all kind of new to it?
I am so
This is
new
all
to these
new.
topics.
I'm pretty good at. I'm pretty good at HTML and CSS. I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, I would say same there. I feel comfortable with those, but what about the other topics? Anyone feel good with the other programming topics?
No.
I've never really heard of them before, but I do know JavaScript. So seeing the JSON stuff, that I could probably handle that.
And that's what, I mean, I've always heard JSON's like JavaScript, and I took a JavaScript class, and I feel more comfortable with JavaScript than I do with Java, that's for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm better with like Java and stuff like that.
Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know why. JavaScript seems easier to me than Java. Java was a nightmare. JavaScript, I felt like it could actually make stuff work. Java was like, if I wasn't copying and pasting, nothing was happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Java. JavaScript's like, for me.
That's
Really?
why.
Interesting.
I was talking to my boss today, because I work at a web design firm, and he said the same thing. He's like, Java's way using JavaScript. I'm like, what are you talking about? We're totally backwards, but yeah. That is one thing, is our developer is like a genius at my company, so if we have questions, I can always ask him. Because he knows it. I swear he knows everything.
Yeah, just start inviting them to the meetings.
I might.
It'd be helpful.
No, because I told him the topics, he's like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. He's one of those kids that like started programming when he was a preteen and taught himself, and then just decided to get his degree just to have it, because he already knew it. You know? Yeah. So, like I said, I'll ask him when I have questions. I think we're good for tonight. So everyone post all our stuff on the board.
We'll do.
Yep.
It'll be a second. I have like an assignment due by 11. But I
Oh
will
no,
post it
I don't
tonight.
think. I mean, there's a lot that gets up there the next couple nights. Sorry, did we decide 8:15 or 8:30 for Wednesday?
8:15 is gonna be best.
Right, yeah. Right, 8:15.
8:15. Okay, so if I'm not here, does someone else want to just kickstart the meeting?
Yeah. Well, I can kickstart it at 8:15 on.
Will you do that? Because I'll be rushing home as fast as I can, but I can't guarantee I'll be back by 8:15.
Well, actually, I
No.
shouldn't, because if I leave early, then someone needs to run it, so I shouldn't do it.
So that's true.
I can do it.
Okay,
Thank you.
perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be rushing as fast as I can, so just start without me. It'll probably be like 8:20, 8:25. So,
Besides, if I start, I'll actually be able to figure out how to get on it. So
nice.
Yeah, right?
no negative there.
One last thing, Megan, when you post your code, will you keep your commented code as part of it? Because I want to mess around with it.
Yeah,
Just for
absolutely.
giggles. Thanks.
Yeah, I agree. All right, thanks everybody.
Yep.
Okay.
See ya.
Yeah.
Oh wait, who's gonna post this to?
I do. Whoever's hosting or starts it has to be the one recording it. So I'll stop recording and then I'll post the video.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So that for next week when you host it, you'll be the one recording.
Will do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.